A nuclear close call happens when an accident, error, or misunderstanding almost triggers a nuclear war. These moments reveal how fragile peace can be in a world with atomic weapons. Each event is a reminder of how easily technology, tension, and human error can collide. History shows that survival has often depended on hesitation, luck, or a single calm decision. Suez Crisis Coincidences. It's 1956. Britain and France attack Egypt at the Suez Canal. The Soviet Union threatens rocket strikes on London and Paris. At the same time, NORAD detects strange signals over Turkey, Syria, and the Dardanelles. Commanders fear that war has already begun. Hours later, they learn the truth. Swans, routine flights, and faulty reports. A simple chain of errors almost lights the nuclear fuse. Greenland's moonrise. In 1960, at Thule Air Base in Greenland, radar screens flare with signals. Computers show dozens of Soviet missiles heading toward America. Alarms sound. Commanders prepare to respond. Then someone notices. Khrushchev is in New York. Moments later, they discover the cause. The rising moon over Norway. A reflection in the sky nearly ends civilization. Goldsboro B-52 crash. In 1961, a U.S. bomber breaks apart above North Carolina. 2 hydrogen bombs fall toward the ground. 5 of 6 safety systems fail. Only one small switch holds. If it had closed, an American city would have vanished in an instant. The accident proves how close safety and destruction can stand together. Omaha's lost connections. In 1961, the Strategic Air Command loses contact with Thule radar and with NORAD headquarters. 2 communication lines fail at the same time. To those on duty, it looks exactly like an enemy strike. Bomber crews start engines, waiting for orders. A pilot over Thule restores contact just in time. Coincidence alone prevents a nuclear response. U-2 flight incident. October 1962. The Cuban Missile Crisis is at its peak. A U.S. U-2 spy plane drifts into Soviet airspace. MiG fighters scramble to intercept. American jets, armed with nuclear missiles, move to defend their pilot. Fuel runs low, but he lands safely. For several tense minutes, both sides stand ready to fire. Navigation errors caused by the Aurora nearly start World War III. The Bears Incident. October 1962. The night air over Minnesota is tense. The world is at DEFCON 3. A guard spots movement along the fence and fires. The alarm spreads through nearby bases. At one base, a crossed wire turns the signal into a nuclear launch order. Pilots start their engines, ready to take off. An officer races across the runway and stops them just in time. The intruder isn't an enemy, it's a bear. For a few minutes, at the height of the Cuban Missile Crisis, a wild animal almost starts World War III. Submarine B-59. October 27, 1962, the most dangerous day of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Near Cuba, a Soviet submarine dives deep to avoid detection. It loses contact with Moscow. American ships drop practice depth charges. Inside, the crew believes war has begun. The captain orders a nuclear torpedo launch. One man, Vasily Arkhipov, refuses. In the dark heat, his calm voice stops disaster. One decision saves the world. Moorestown training tape. October 28, 1962. Morning in New Jersey. Radar operators see what looks like an incoming nuclear strike. Countdown clocks begin. The signal matches a training tape, but no one knows it's a test. Commands flow toward launch until someone cuts power. Confused technicians watch as the screens go dark. Human hesitation once again saves the planet. Okinawa Incident. Late October 1962. On a U.S. base in Okinawa, Japan, a launch order arrives. Missile codes check out. Everything looks real. The commander hesitates. The targets include both Russia and China. Something feels wrong. He refuses to act. No missiles launch. Doubt breaks the chain of command and prevents World War III. French thunderstorm. Late 1960s, lightning strikes and scrambles French military signals. A bomber takes off with a live nuclear bomb. Radio contact fails. Only a missing refueling plane forces the crew to turn back. Nature intervenes where humans almost failed. Solar flare incident. May 23, 1967. A massive solar flare hits Earth. NORAD radars see it as Soviet jamming. Bombers prepare to launch. Scientists rush in with an explanation: the sun itself. In minutes, physics and politics blur into fear. Even the sky can ignite a nuclear crisis. B-52 crash near Thule. January 21, 1968. A bomber carrying nuclear weapons catches fire over Greenland. The crew ejects as the plane plunges to the ice. Explosives detonate, but the nuclear cores stay intact. If they had detonated, Washington might have believed in a Soviet attack. A changed flight plan never reported to the White House almost triggers Armageddon. EC-121 shoot-down. April 15, 1969, a North Korean fighter shoots down a U.S. reconnaissance plane. 31 airmen die. Nuclear-armed jets prepare to strike North Korea. In Washington, Henry Kissinger urges restraint. President Nixon stands down. One decision in anger could have changed history. Yom Kippur War. October 1973. The Middle East erupts in war. The U.S. moves to DEFCON 3. At a base in Michigan, a mechanic accidentally triggers a nuclear alarm. Bomber crews run to their planes and start engines. Seconds later, technicians realize it's a false signal. Engines shut down. The difference between error and extinction is measured in seconds. Large-scale nuclear attack tape. November 9, 1979. Command centers across America light up with warnings. Hundreds of missiles appear on screens. Planes launch. Panic spreads. 6 minutes later, silence. A technician had inserted a training tape into a live system. The wrong tape almost ended the world. Soviet false alarm 1983. September 26th. A Soviet satellite reports 5 U.S. missiles in flight. Officer Stanislav Petrov has minutes to react. Protocol demands retaliation. He trusts his instinct instead. The missiles are sunlight on clouds. His decision stops automatic launch systems from responding. One man's calm judgment outweighs an empire's machine. Able Archer 1983. November. NATO runs a large-scale nuclear exercise. To the Soviets, it looks real. Bombers are armed, missiles ready. For 10 days, the world balances on a knife's edge. When the exercise ends, the alert is canceled. Most people never know how close the Cold War came to fire. Norwegian rocket incident. January 25, 1995. Russian radar detects a missile launch. The nuclear briefcase is activated. It's a Norwegian research rocket studying the Northern Lights. The warning never reached radar operators. For minutes, the Russian military prepares to retaliate. It becomes the last major nuclear false alarm in history. If you liked this video, subscribe for more like this.